Hello, guys. You are listening to the Mid-State League Weekly podcast, covering Harvest Preparatory School athletics. We keep you posted and updated on all things Harvest Prep. And guys, we're taking you around the Mid-State League for scores and updates. Hello, guys. My name is Willie Stimmich. Thank you guys for jumping on the ship. It'll be a quick 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and we're just going to update you, get you caught up on the Harvest Preparatory School basketball. So with that being said, guys, give us a follow on Twitter at MSL Weekly. I'd like to know your comments, your feedback. Hit me up on the IG at Willie Stimmich Photography, on Facebook at MSL Weekly, or just simply drop me an email at infoforwillie@gmail.com. That's infoforwillie@gmail.com. Hey, man, it's been a good month for the Harvest Preparatory School Warriors basketball. I mean, let me just say this from the get-go. That first game against Wellington, I said to myself, and I think I told some other guys, if we would get this victory to kick off the season, I think it's going to be like downhill from there. And they did it. And as of right now, they're leading the Mid-State League Mid-State League Cardinal Division in the standings. So we will get to that a little later on in the show. But kudos to the Harvest Prep Warriors for having a great month of December. I mean, they racked up some victories and some outstanding basketball was played this past month. So with that being said, let me just recap each game as we kick this show off right quick. That first game against Wellington, that was the hype game of the year, and I know these guys have hold on a second. I know these guys have like revenge on their mind. So, and if you want to really see that revenge game, I think that rematch is January the 20th at 7:30 p.m. at Wellington. So it's going to be a good game, and I think these Harvest Preppers are up for the task. I mean, Harvest Preppers are ready to ball with anybody. These guys and with the guys coming in from January, that depth on the bench is going to really, really be dope, man. I mean, it's really going to be tight. I mean, that rotation is going to be real good. So I'm looking forward to see the next 2 or 3 months. We in might well say this is halftime. When you get to January, you're halfway done with the season, because there was only 2, I think, is January and February, and then we start March Madness, and that's when it really get to popping. So I can't wait. But just recapping you on where Harvest Prep stands right now. That first game, Harvest Prep defeated Wellington 69-56. Wellington was out Guy Smith. I was told by some of the Wellington players that the 5'10" junior guard injured himself early in the season, and I think he's out for the season. And so they were relying on Dallas Patrick and the rest of these guys. And by the way, let me just drop this in you. This is Sunday, December 31st, 2017. So wherever you at, be safe. Have a good New Year's Eve. If you're celebrating, celebrate the right way. And just want to say Happy New Year's to everybody out there. So kudos to you. Have a great New Year's, and be safe. But back to the game. That particular game, it was a real good game. I think C.J. Anthony was the player of the week. He scored 33 points. That guy had 5 3-pointers. He was banging the threes down like it was like his shooting percentage was off the chain in that game. But as far as scoring, CJ had 33 points. Sol Hines had 4 points. Claudio Pena, CJ Pena, had 12. Sean Peterson had 5 points. Bryce Beavers had 8. Brandon Beavers had 7. To round up the Harvest Prep Warriors. And then the Wellington Jags, Dallas Patrick led the charge with 18 points. Bob Fowler with 14. John Fowler with 4. Noah Berry with 12. Solomon Louis Pierre Lewis had 6. He was kind of quiet in that game. I was looking for him to just bust out and do a little more than what he, I've seen this guy play. So I was looking for him to do a little more, but evidently, he was in lockdown mode. They locked him down. He had a couple of foolish traveling calls, and he just couldn't get it going. And that Harvest Prep defense kind of locked him up. Marcus Stewart had 12 points for the Wellington Jaguars. So that rematch will be January the 20th at Wellington at 7:30 p.m. So if you want to jump on board and go check that game out, you can. It'll be real exciting. The second game, Harvest Prep defeated Fairfield Christian. I wouldn't say defeated. They just manhandled these guys 115-37. That game was on Friday, December 15th. And they just beat the brakes off these guys, man. I mean, they didn't have no mercy on them. That third game, they beat Burn Union 95-40. That game was on the 19th of December. Soul had 16 points in that game. C.J. Pena had 30. Christopher Anthony had 18. Avante Duncan had 11. Jamari had 3. Sean had 5. Bryce Beavers had 4. Brandon Beavers had 8. C.J. knocked down 8 3-pointers today. Not 8 3-pointers. He had 4 3-pointers in that game. Soul had 3 3-pointers in that game. As the Harvest Prep defeated Burn Union 95-40. And just moving right along in the schedule, after that, I think the Harvest Prep Warriors went up to Gatlinburg to play in the Gatlinburg-Pittman, Tennessee tournament. I guess that's what it was. And they defeated Barberville City 100-59. I guess it seems like Harvest Prep is averaging around 95 to 100 points a game. I mean, they got some shooters. So just to recap you on that game, Avante Duncan had 18 points. I mean, he really balled. And C.J. Pena had 19. C.J. Anthony had 14. Sean had 11. Bryce Beavers had 11. Brandon Beavers had 15. Soul had 8. And Jamari had 4 to lead the Harvest Prep Warriors. And the losers, Barberville City Bunch had 19 points. 3 of those were 3-pointers for the losers. The next game, Harvest Prep took on Gatlin and defeated them 71-55 on December 22nd. And then the next game they played Bath County, Kentucky. They defeated them 100-61. Soul got off with 15 points. C.J. Pena had 31. Christopher Anthony had 15. Bryce had 2, and Brandon had 22. Man, he really balled that game. 22, and Avante Duncan had 8. Jamari had 4. To lead the Harvest. Sean had 3. To lead the Harvest Prep Warriors. And for the losers, Bath County, Kentucky, Green had 20 points, and Otis had 14 in a losing effort. And then Harvest Prep took a trip back to New Philly to play in the New Philadelphia Tuscarora Central Catholic Tournament. And the first game was on the Friday night, December 29th. They defeated the home team 86-35. These guys got a smothering defense. I'm looking at the scores, 35-55. I mean, these guys is really locking these teams up. Even Wellington, they got 56 points. So, kudos to that defense, man. I mean, they really getting the job done. C.J. Pena had 22 in that contest Friday night. C.J. Anthony had 28. Brandon Beavers had 13. Bryce had 2. Sean Peterson had 8. Avante had 2. Jamari had 3. And Soul had 8 points in that contest. For the Tuscarora Central Catholic, I guess that's how you pronounce that, Nathan Price had 13 in the losing effort. And so Harvest Prep is rolling right along. In the next game, which I have a chance to attend, they took on Garaway, and they defeated those guys 92-62. That game was on Saturday, December 30th, which was yesterday. The scoring went like this. C.J. Pena had 27. C.J. Anthony had 29. Soul had 17, 5 3-pointers. Soul was in a groove in that game. I mean, I was watching this guy. His stroke was like money. And he was bagging those 3-pointers like they was like, every time he put it up, it was going in. He had a good shooting game. Brandon Beavers had 7. Sean Peterson had 5. Avante had 6, and Jamar had 2. And C.J. Anthony was your player of the game with a total of 29 points. 5 of those were 3-pointers, and he was the player of the game. For Gary Way on the losing side, Fergon had 15 and Schaefer had 12 in the losing effort. So that's to get you caught up on where Harvest Prep is. They are on the top of the board, 7-0, and they are 3-0 in the conference. So, and we get into conference play now. So all the holiday tournaments are over, and so we in the meat of the season. So it's all hands on deck from here on out. You plan on making the big dance, the March Madness dance, which I know they're going to be real successful doing. So kudos to the Harvest Prep Warriors. Great December. They had a great December. And kudos to that coaching staff for leading those guys in a winning effort. Hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to just find out who in the Mid-State League won their game this week. So with that being said, guys, this is the Mid-State League Weekly. My name is Willie Stemich.
Student athletes are unique, and so are their sports injuries. They need a level of expertise found only at Nationwide Children's Hospital. Our sports medicine experts offer something adult care providers can't: a complete understanding of the student athlete at 8 convenient locations across Central Ohio. To get your student athletes back in the game and keep them there, start by visiting nationwidechildrens.org/sportsmedicine for more information. That's nationwidechildrens.org/sportsmedicine.
Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Not only is it delicious, low-fat or fat-free chocolate milk is a great way to fuel up for any activity. Enjoy